Hey, I'm Frida. Welcome to my channel, and today I am starting my hallway build project. Now, our hallway in this apartment is really long, narrow, and it has so many doors. Like, it's just a hallway of doors. The first door in our hallway is a closet, and when we moved in, it was just a shelf system in there. There was nowhere to hang your jackets or put your, hats or whatever. It was just deep shelves. So one of the first things we did was to rip out the shelves in that first closet and just put in something temporary. So when you come in through the door, you can just hang up your coats. And we also just removed that door completely. Our shoes, on the other hand, has no storage. They've literally been in the hallway, just in boxes for about a year or so, maybe more, not gonna lie. So today I am starting to make a custom closet for the hallway where we can store everything we need to in there, and it's going to be a really nice open area for us when you come in through the door. I'm super excited. I am way over my depth. I've never done anything like this before. So it's probably gonna be a lot of mistakes and a lot of learning happening. And I have no idea how long this is going to take me. So this is definitely part one. But I'm ready for it. Are you ready? Let's do this. Also, I should mention the door right next to this closet is my partner's office, and he's in meetings all the time and working on really big secretive things, so there might be a lot of voiceovers in this, so I apologize in advance. Okay, bye. Okay then, first things first, this is gotta go. Cue the clean out montage. I start by removing the door trim. I've never done this before, so I researched which tools I need and I'm just gonna go for it. So I'm starting by cutting the caulk with an X-Acto blade and then just prying the trim off as gently as I can. I'm trying to make as little damage as I can to this already painted wall. So I'm making sure I really score with the X-Acto blade and I go slow when I pry the trim off so I can see if there are areas that sticks and that needs to be cut some more. Okay, next up is trying to get the door jamb off, and I read the easiest way is to just take a metal saw and saw it off. I only have a handsaw, but I won't let that stop me. So I removed the blade, stuck it into the crack, tightened it back up, and sawed away. And honestly, it worked really well. I mean, I was definitely sweaty at the end, but I was also surprised over how easy I could cut these thick nails. I felt pretty powerful, not gonna lie. I got some lovely help to take this out safely, and it came out really smoothly. So this is now all trimless. I just need to pull out some nails and hammer some of them in just to make sure that everything is flush and safe. This was easier than I thought it would be. Now we're on to the messiest and probably the scariest part of this project so far. I need to patch and mud this opening. I've never done that before, so I'm definitely nervous, but also kind of excited. I feel like mudding would be something I enjoy, but famous last words. So I'm just prepping and making sure that everything is nice and flat and sanded before I start mixing up my mud. Hi, welcome to my bathroom. I'm gonna mix the mud or the joint compound in here because I don't want the dust to get in the air and affect Theo, our cat. So I'm just, in this way, around the hallway, I can lock him out and I can do the powdery mud in here. Now, I am no expert, I've never done this before, but there's a few things I've learned by the school of YouTube. So using the powdered mud means that I can control the consistency, as well as when you buy the pre-mixed, if you don't use up what's in that can, then it's probably going to be wasted by the time you want to use it again. And I know that I'm just going to use a little now, and I probably won't touch this for a long time. So this is more cost effective for me, and I can just keep this in a dry place and it should last me for the next time I need to use it. I chose the 45 plus 45, which means it takes about 45 minutes before I can recoat, which gives me enough time. It's not necessarily 45-minute work time as I understand it, but it's 45 minutes to recoat, so I hope that's enough time for me to figure this out, and I can do smaller batches too. With the fiber mesh self-adhesive tape I am using to just kind of smooth out the seam that was there before from the old trim, they say you need to use this type for it to not crack as well. So that's another reason for going with the hot mud, as they call it, which is powdered mud. So that's kind of all I know. I also been watching a few videos of what consistency needs to be, and it seems like with this type of mud you can mix it up a little bit depending on what you need. So I can mix a thicker, like maybe peanut butter consistency for the first coat, and then I can do more of a like a yogurt consistency for the second coat, and hopefully it won't crack on me, but this is all a learning curve. So I need to also go and get corner beading, which I didn't know. So I need to go and get corner beading so I can get nice corners where the drywall ends, which I'm probably gonna do tonight, but I want to get like a first just coat to smooth out some things, like just smooth out and try before I get that. And there's also this bit in the corner where when they built this, they probably was a crooked wall or something, and they build up a lot of joint compound in this corner. So I have this like ledge that I need to fill in. So I need to figure out, kind of trial and error on how I'm gonna fill all of that in. I have an idea. I'm nervous, I'm excited. My thought process is one step at a time, go slowly and you'll figure it out. So let's try to mix the mud. So what I learned is you put the water in first and then the dry mud, because it's gonna mix better that way. Otherwise it doesn't mix as well. And you don't wanna over mix it either. I should probably start with less water next time. Is this peanut butter? I feel like that's very light, smooth peanut butter. I think I need a little bit more. I also don't know if I'm overworking this. It's, you know, I have no idea. I think that's peanut butter. So let's go and put it on the wall and see what happens. I don't have much time, so let's boogie. That looks ugly. Whoever mudded this before, like the contractor who did this, didn't do a great job no matter what, so hopefully it's not going to be much worse than what they had. Who knows? But okay, I definitely made way too much, but I was expecting that. So I'm gonna let this dry and then hopefully do another coat and then go get the edge bead. Morning. I gave this mud a light sand yesterday and it's coming off so smoothly, so it gives me a lot of confidence that with a few more layers to really cover this tape, I definitely did too thin, I think, yesterday. I would probably make this work and probably will look okay. That little wonky corner too is much better already, so a few more rounds is probably gonna be pretty good, so I'm excited about that. I went also yesterday evening to get some corner beads. So these are gonna go in the corners here and just finish those corners off, and then I'm gonna butt them right up against the wood so I get a nice corner to the wood and not a a mess that's gonna crack, because I think I'm gonna have gaps. So I went for like a bigger metal piece so I have some leeway to push it out further and it will still be a solid corner. The front edge of the drywall sticks down quite a lot. To me, every inch counts. I want to get as much height as I can. So I'm gonna try to cut it. I'm just gonna use like a, I mean, it's not a Swiss Army knife, but it's the same thing. Doesn't really have a brand. Oh, a Stanley. It's a Stanley knife. So I'm gonna use this with a serrated blade to try to cut it. It seems like a serrated blade is what you're supposed to use. I don't have another, like a good drywall cutting blade. So I'm gonna try with this and see how that goes. All my safety glasses are in the workshop, so I'm just gonna use my reading glasses. That's what I have. This is gonna take a while. That's super satisfying. I think I just realized I don't have enough of these. These should be 10 feet. So I calculated one of these should be covering that and that easily. This is not, so great. Anyways, so what I learned is you don't want these to go all the way, like perfectly from the bottom to the top, because if your house settles, they have nowhere to go, so they're gonna bow out or pop off. So give them a little bit of wiggle room just in case that happens. I'm gonna lift it up just a little from the ground, or you can have it all the way to the ground and just wing where you need to cut it. These are metal shears to cut the metal in here, but what you can do first is just cut this one, just a little snip, and then once you have that cut, you take your metal shears and you try to cut straight, and then you do the same on the other. I chose to do it one of those lines so it makes it easier for me.
I add some mud first to the wall so the corner bead has something to stick to. I make sure to line up the corner bead to the top of the wall so there's a bit of a gap at the bottom. And before I push it in properly, I just make sure that everything is level and straight while I still can move it around. Once I'm happy with it, I push it in. I then scrape off any excess mud and really push the paper into the wall and make sure everything is flat and it sticks.
Okay, the corner bead is on. It definitely looks better than the raw drywall, so that's a win. I'm gonna let this dry, and then I probably have to do another coat, so I have to wait about 45 minutes for this to dry first. Not bad. I need to go get my cat. He's like all the way down the hallway. I have no idea where my brain was yesterday, but I just stopped there. I guess I got off the ladder and forgot. I don't know. I even threw out some mud because I thought I had too much. God. And this sands down really nicely, so one final coat I think might be good to go. Okay, I'm getting better at this. I'm also starting to enjoy it a little. Made a perfect amount for the back, so I just need to do a nice final coat on the front. Hopefully the final finishing sand of this drywall mud. Let's do it. I have cleaned off the dust to the best of my abilities. It might still take a few more runs with the mop, but most of the dust is gone. I prepped for priming, so I'm gonna put on a coat of primer using the bin primer. I already had it, so I'm gonna use it, and it's such a good primer. When you put primer on, you can more easily see if there's any dents or bumps that you wanna fill in or sand away. So this will tell me if my sanding job is good, and I bet there's gonna be a few spots where I wanna, tweak and fix. But in general, it's looking pretty good. So let's put on some primer and see, how it looks. So it's been about an hour, and this is now dry. And in general, it actually looks really nice. There's a few areas like this, and then some kind of bubbles, but when you feel it, it feels super smooth. For my first ever joint compound mudding job, I'm not mad at it. So I'm probably gonna go in with just normal spackling and just even out these small little bits and bobs, and then we can move on to the next step. And I'm super excited. Okay, I prepped everything in here. It is ready to be painted. I'm painting the same color as the hallway, so the gray, so it kind of blends into the rest of the hallway. And I'm, for now, not patching these holes because I want to know where the studs are. And these were all screwed into the studs, so I'm gonna paint over them, and then so I can still see them. and then once I have like my studs marked out, I will spackle and paint those again. And the spackling on like this turned out so well. It's so smooth. I'm really happy with the result, and I think it turned out really well. I also got an edger, which I always wanted to try because I am too short to reach the ceiling in here, even on the step ladder. So I will put this on our paint pole, and what it does, it will roll along the ceiling edge and create a straight line without using any paint, and it won't paint the ceiling. I will leave the ceiling white because it's white everywhere else, and it will bring extra lights. Plus we have a sprinkler in here, so I would rather not try to paint around that. So that's the plan. Let's get to painting. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Like it a lot. Okay, definitely not foolproof if the walls aren't, like the ceiling isn't even. It's not foolproof. So I want to say like 7 out of 10. I think that maybe you have to like scrape the corners, like the edges, every time before you use it, because even this little space, there's still some imperfections, so it's okay though. Yeah. So as we know, that closet is pretty dark. It's a dark color, a dark closet, and dark hallway. So I've got some LED strips that I'm planning to install, and these are going to be on all the time, so you can always see what you're putting into the closet. So let's go and put these in. Hello, welcome to our now lit hallway closet, which is super excited and super convenient because it was really dark. I'm super happy with how bright it is, how much these LEDs lights it up, how much you can control it. So great step. I am going to start to install the bench supports, I guess. So I have them cut down to size. I still have one more to cut that I need to measure after I install these, and they're just 2x4s. they're gonna go along the sides. I'm gonna have one kind of like, maybe not middle, but just short of middle. And then I'm going to put the bench on top. And I will show you the bench later. I'm excited. But yeah, let's install these supports and keep moving. And because I left these holes, didn't patch them, I know exactly where the studs are. So I have a stud here, and I have a stud here. So I'm gonna drill into those 3 places as well. Super helpful. And then I could patch those holes later. I think no one shows the struggle of trying to open these. Okay, so I didn't record any of that, but these no pre-drill screws, seems like they need pre-drilling because they're not going into the stud. It's just does not want to. It went through this fine, but not the stud. So I'm gonna do a little hole and then see. Let's see if that helps. Wild. It's definitely a stud though. I don't understand how these are like no drill screws and they like have the dullest of dull like tips. I don't understand. Or cheap either. Jesus.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
This side unfortunately only have one stud that I can find, nothing on the front end, so that's not great. So what I did is I drilled 2 screws into the stud that I have. Then I ended up getting some brackets for the corner to attach that to the back piece so everything will be super secure. Okay, I'm going to end part 1 here. I hope you enjoyed watching the closet transform and hopefully you learned something as well. I mean, I sure did, like how things always take so much longer than expected. Stay tuned for part 2. I upload every other Friday and I hope to see you here again. Thank you so much for watching. Hej då!